Hey guys, this is Tim from Dimmdrive.com, here to talk about a new update to the Dimmdrive program. This new update is a massive overall change to the core of how Dimmdrive functions. In addition to this update, this enables you to select a larger game to work with a smaller amount of RAM. And this is from a fundamental standpoint a massive change to how you can game using Ramdrive. It used to be that if your game was a large game, let's say 20 gigs or so, you would have to have 20 extra gigs of RAM, but not anymore with this update to Dimmdrive. So I play World of Warcraft, and what we're going to do is show you how I can use Dimmdrive with World of Warcraft without having a gigantic amount of RAM. So here's my WoW directory right here. I play 10 accounts or 5 accounts at once, which is why Dimmdrive is really important to me. I also play one account in Raid, which is why Dimmdrive is really important as well. But let's take a look at the size of this World of Warcraft directory. It's roughly 26 gigs, it looks like. But what my goal is right now is I want to be able to do World of Warcraft and have, let's say, a PC with 8 gigs of RAM total. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to set up Dimmdrive to have 6 gigs of RAM available to use with the Dimmdrive, and I'm going to configure World of Warcraft in Dimmdrive. So I'm just actually going to click and drag my World of Warcraft installation file here, or my install directory, and you're going to see it's again roughly 26 gigs. What we're going to do is we're going to click on the wrench, and there's now this new window here that says less RAM or more RAM. Now the more RAM, as it says, it Dimmdrives the entire program. So it sticks the whole program into your RAM. But that's not what we want to do. I'm doing a lot of raiding in World of Warcraft. So what I can do is I can select less RAM, click configure, and I can pick in an intelligent way the particular files that I want to work with Dimmdrive, the files that I need to go massively fast. So what we're going to do is we're going to go into the data directory, and we are going to do the expansion 4, which is the data that has all the Mr. Pandaria stuff. And then we're also going to do the texture.mpq, and that has kind of the generic textures for, let's say, armor and just generic stuff in World of Warcraft. And then we're going to go to our WTF folder, which has the interfaces, the add-ons, that sort of stuff. We're going to enable that, and that's it. We're going to hit submit selection, and you'll see that it's gone from almost 26 gigs down to almost 5 gigs in size. And that's that. So we're going to hit close, and we're going to enable this, turn it on. And again, if you go here, it says 5 gigs from what was prior a 26 gig size. And we're going to hit close, and then we're going to turn Dimmdrive on. So now what Dimmdrive is doing is it's taking those specific files, and only those specific files, and it's putting them on this ultra-fast RAM drive. And we're able to get over 8,000 megabytes per second with our RAM drive, which is insanely fast. So that's pretty much it. Now you can run World of Warcraft however you normally run World of Warcraft. So you could, for example, run the wow.exe directly from wherever you installed World of Warcraft. Or you could also go into Dimmdrive, click the wrench, go into here and set your wow.exe and have it run that directly. Do whatever you want. It can run from the launcher. It can run however it wants. Now, the way it functions is, if we click Open Drive here, we'll see the Y drive, which is the actual RAM drive. This is the actual drive that, for example, is basically 6 gigs in size. Now we've copied onto Dimmdrive the particular files that we want to go really fast. And what we've then done is in your World of Warcraft directory, if we go to data, you'll notice that there's like a little link type of icon. What we've done is we've taken that game file out of the basic World of Warcraft install directory, and we've moved it on over to the Dimmdrive directory. So let's take a look at this here. You'll see the actual expansion.mpq and texture are roughly 4.5 gigs. Now, if we go back to your World of Warcraft directory, we'll see right here that it doesn't have anything on your, your old hard drive for these two files. Because these two files, they look like they're on your old hard drive, but they're actually on the gaming RAM drive, using what's called a symbolic link. Now, if these files get updated, if WoW gets patched, or maybe these are save game files or something like that, Dimmdrive will automatically synchronize and write those files back to your hard drive. So there's no chance you'll ever get any data lost if you reboot your computer or if it crashes or anything like that. And so now you can run it however you want. We're just gonna click on the game right here, and it's gonna load it up. So you can load the file within Dimmdrive. We've set it to wow.exe. So you can run it however you want, or you can run it directly from your World of Warcraft installation. So we can just run wow.exe, and you'll notice there's no errors. WoW is not crashing. WoW sees that file. It just happens to be loaded on a drive that is massively fast, like massively fast. Now, this doesn't just work with World of Warcraft. And you can actually take a look here. We ran the game and then we closed it, so our configuration files have changed just slightly. And because we synchronized our WTF folder, the config.wtf was updated from our RAM drive back to our normal hard drive, which is really nice. So anyway, let's close this. And this same functionality can exist with Steam. Now, because of how Dimmdrive does its kind of mirroring of your game files onto the RAM drive, it does it in a very passive way that it'll directly integrate with Steam or Origin or your game launcher, your game patcher, whatever it is, your shortcuts on your desktop. Nothing will know that your files are actually on the gaming RAM drive. So for an example, we're going to set this to off. We're going to set our RAM drive size to be whatever. Let's just leave it at 6. And let's pick a game here. A game that I actually was playing a little bit recently. It's pretty fun. Precipice of Darkness. It's one of the Penny Arcade games. But we're going to set this to be on. And we're going to pick the particular game, rainslick.exe. And we are going to make sure that it says all the game is in the RAM drive. It's a pretty small game, so it says the entire game is inside the Dimmdrive, and we've enabled it so it's towards the front. And then we're gonna start this. Now, what we're gonna do as an example is we're not gonna launch the game within Dimmdrive. We're actually gonna launch the game within Steam. So now we could launch it within Dimmdrive. We could actually click Dimmdrive. But what if you actually just wanted to set it up in Dimmdrive but play it out of normal Steam? So what you do is you just run Steam as you normally would. And I've got it on my other monitor here. So here's Steam as it normally exists. We're going to go to Installed Games. And we're going to go to, where is it here? Penny Arcade. Now, Steam has your Penny Arcade game installed in a folder, which I'll show you real quick. So by default, I have it set in Steam, Steam Apps, Common, and somewhere in here, Penny Arcade. So you notice the game itself has this little shortcut thing. But if you go into the directory, you know, all the files look like they're there. But these files, they actually exist on the RAM drive. But to Steam, it looks like the file's on your normal hard drive. And we can prove that by now clicking on this and clicking the play button. And there it is. There's the Penny Arcade Precipice of Darkness. So we've ran the game out of Steam, and we've then proved that it actually exists on the RAM drive by looking at this shortcut. And again, this is my Steam directory. This shortcut, you can actually go to Properties, and it'll say that this target is the Y drive, and the Y drive is your Dimmdrive, which has just this game. So now you can run your games through Steam, you can run them through Origin, you can run a game launcher, you can run them from Dimmdrive itself. You can do things however you want. It's very smooth, it works very well. None of your data is lost if you close your computer down. Everything is written back to your actual hard drive, because when you turn off your computer, your RAM is cleared. But Dimmdrive preserves all the files, so you don't actually lose anything. We've got Google Chrome here. Let me just give you an example. You'll drag Chrome onto your other programs area. Let's turn this off. Let's turn Chrome on. And we're going to do all of the Chrome files. It's a pretty small program. We're going to click the on button. What's going to happen now is Dimmdrive's going to copy Chrome into your RAM drive. And you can double check that by clicking on your open drive, going to Y, and you'll see that there's a Chrome application inside your actual RAM drive. Now, you can just click it within Dimmdrive to launch Chrome, just like that. So you see how I'm clicking it and I'm launching Chrome? Now I can launch Chrome from my desktop, and it's the exact same thing. This Chrome is now running not from my hard drive, it's running out of my RAM drive. And I can take Dimmdrive off the screen, off the picture, or out of the picture, and we can run Chrome right here, and it's still running from the actual RAM drive. And we can confirm that by looking at where this shortcut exists on your computer. C program, blah, 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 blah. And if we were to go into Dimmdrive, you can see it's basically the same location here. C program, blah, 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 Chrome, blah, blah, blah. And if we were to click off, Dimmdrive is going to remove that RAM drive. It's going to remove Chrome from that RAM drive. And now if we just take Dimmdrive out of the picture and we double click the Chrome shortcut, it takes a little bit, a few moments longer to load, but it's running off of the actual hard drive now, whereas just a moment ago it was running off of the Dimmdrive. So that's basically the functionality of this new update to Dimmdrive. It's very powerful. It enables you to have large size games work with small amounts of RAM. So we're going to click off. We're going to go back into the World of Warcraft configuration. And just for fun, we're going to show you the menu for World of Warcraft. We're going to click on less RAM. We're going to click configure. And in just a couple seconds, Dimmdrive actually looks at your whole installation directory and it figures out all the different files. So again, back to World of Warcraft, I like to have the cache directory in the WTF folder selected. And that has your account and normally your interface add-ons and so on. And you go into your data directory, and depending on what you're doing in World of Warcraft, and depending on how much RAM you have, you want to select the world or texture. If you have excess amount of RAM, you want to have these two files. And then if you're leveling in World of Warcraft, and let's say you're leveling in Burning Crusade, then you'll want to do the expansion 2. And that's really all you have to do. If you're leveling in the starter zones and Burning Crusade, and then another one of your characters is doing endgame raiding, then you might want something like this. So you can individually pick the files that you want to go on the RAM drive. You don't need to have update files going into the RAM drive. You don't need to have your patch files. You don't need to have your screenshot directory going into your RAM drive. You can pick specifically what files you want to go into the RAM drive. And this applies for any game. So if we cancel out of this, let's take a look at a Steam game. Let's pick Skyrim here. So we're gonna click the wrench on Skyrim. We're gonna click Dimmdrive only. Now Skyrim typically is 14 gigs. We're gonna click configure, and bam, it knows where I have Skyrim installed, which again is my Steam directory. It's going to show me all the different files that I have within Skyrim. And if you know anything about Skyrim, you have expansion packs and add-ons and a whole community of texture packs and just all sorts of everything for Skyrim. Skyrim is a very open game where people can create their own everything within the game. But anyway, so let's say in Skyrim you're doing things specific more to Dawnguard, where you can enable just that Dawnguard portion of Skyrim, and then maybe the general Skyrim executable files, things like that, like your test.exe, and so on. And so let's say you just did that. You enabled Dawnguard and you enabled your Skyrim exe right there, and you hit submit. Then now you've gone from a 14 gig game down to a 1.2 gig because you're able to specifically pick the file that you want to go faster. And that is a giant feature. So we're talking if you're using League of Legends, if you're using World of Warcraft, Skyrim, any Steam game, any other game, and you want to make the game go fast, you can skip the video files in the game. You can skip update files. You can skip just files that don't need to go faster, and you can pick the ones that you want to use at super high speeds. Now this is the first iteration of how Dimmdrive is going to be doing its new internal core of specifying what files you want to go faster. We're going to be having a couple more updates coming out that kind of streamline this process. And so everybody knows when you buy Dimmdrive, every update that comes in the future, everything is free. So we plan on doing updates every couple weeks. Sometimes we have an update a couple times a week, maybe every month if it's a giant update, but every single new version of Dimmdrive, all the updates, all the bug fixes, all the enhancements are always going to be free. You can go to the dimmdrive.com website or go to the update log on the dimmdrive.com forums and you can get all that information and download all the updates. So I hope everybody likes this new feature. I'm really excited about it. Please leave feedback on forums.dimmdrive.com, and please tell your friends, your family, your mom, your grandmother, your girlfriend, boyfriend, your dog, your cat, everybody about Dimmdrive. So thanks for watching the video, and stay tuned for more videos.